Hello, this is just a quick start guide to creating songs with Musicmatron. Okay, so to get things started, I'll just load up some demo songs. So if you go to the menu in the top right and select load song, you should be able to find these 3 demo songs. So I'll load up one, Maple Leaf Rag, select tick to accept. So here we are, we've loaded up the song, and you can see it's like being shown as like a series of A4 pages, and this is what it would look like if you actually printed it out. And what you can do here is you can actually change the way this is displayed. So if you see this icon in the bottom right, if you tap on there, you can change the view mode. So at the moment it's in what I call page mode. So if you select this second option, scroll mode, it will show the song as like one continuous line, which is easier for editing. So there you go. So now you're seeing the song as one continuous line. And you can sort of move up and down it just with this slider at the bottom, or else you can like pan with the right mouse button like this, and you can zoom in and zoom out with the mouse wheel. Or else if you don't have a mouse wheel, you can use this plus and minus in the bottom left. Okay, so now the next thing is I'm going to show you how to create a basic song. So first of all, we go to the menu, select new song, and then there's all these options for your new song. So first of all, you have to give it a name. So you select this first option, and then if you go down to the bottom below the list, you can actually type in the name. So I call it scale, because I'm going to make a scale. And then you can give it a BPM. This is the start beats per minute of the song. So yeah, I'll change that to say 80 or something. And then measures. This is how many measures long the song is. So yeah, that seems alright for starters. And then the key, you just give it the bass note of the key and the key type, so it could be major or minor. So C major seems alright to me. And then the time signature. First number is the number of beats in the time signature, and the next one the note type. So with 4 and 4 there, it will be 4/4 time. So that'll be alright for this example. And then intro beats. This allows you to create a sort of intro measure, because a lot of songs that have an introduction measure with just a note or 2 notes in. So if you set this to anything other than 0, you'll have this sort of intro measure. But I don't want that for the moment, so I'll leave that as it is, and then I'll tick OK to accept. So now I've created a new sort of blank song. So now what I want to do is paste down a scale in the first measure. So first of all, I need to actually zoom in on the first measure, so I can pan up and down with the right mouse button like this. And then I can zoom in with the mouse wheel. So I'll do that. So I'm zoomed right in on this first measure. And then I want to select note editing. So if you look along this top bar, these are the different elements of the song you can edit. So for example, that's notes, that's rests, that's chords, that's the beams on the notes, that's clefs, that's the key, that's the time signature. Yeah, okay, I won't go into the details of all that for the moment. So what I want to edit now is notes, so I select that. And then once you've selected one of these items, if you look on the column to the left of the song, you'll see these buttons here. And these are the different tools you can use for editing the note. So what I want to do is I want to add a note, so I select that one, which is create notes. For these other tools here, this minus is delete notes, and this up and down arrow is change the pitch of a note. So I want to add a note, so that's correct. And then I want to add, the next column lets you select the type of note. So that type of note seems good to me. So now I need to actually paste down a note. So what you do to paste down a note is you move your mouse pointer over the part of the song where you want the note to go. So that will be like on a rest or something, or an existing note. The notes have to be placed on top of or next to an existing rest or note. So I'll hold my mouse button there, and you see the note appears and a circle appears around it. That's telling me that if I were to release my mouse button here, the notes would actually be placed replacing this rest. So I'll do that. So there's the first note of our scale, the C. So now what I want to do is I want to place the next note of the scale, sort of D. So what I do is I tap on this note, and then if I move the mouse to the right while keeping the left mouse button pressed, you see this arrow appears. This is telling you that you're placing the note after the existing note. So I want to place it after the existing note, but on that line. So there we are, we've placed the note. Now if I wanted to change the pitch of that note, what I could do is I could tap on these sharp and flat keys here, and this allows you to go up and down by 2 flats or 2 sharps. So I don't actually want to do that at this point, so I'll just leave it as it is. So now I'll continue on creating the next note in my scale. There. Okay, so we've made a sort of simple scale. Now to play it back, just tap on this play button here on the right. Okay, so there's our song. Now say next thing we want to do is maybe save it. So go to the menu again, select save song, go off a folder and then give it a name. So I'll call it scale, good name. Then tick to accept. So now I've saved my song at scale. Now another thing you might want to do while placing your notes is to create a chord. So to do that, you select a chord item here, and then add for adding a note to a chord, and then you place your mouse on the note you want to create a chord with. So say it was that note. Keep your mouse button held and then just move the mouse button up and down, set the pitch so I want to go there. So there you go, I've made a chord. So I've made 3 notes to make that chord. So then, then I could add another one and say that was a mistake and I didn't actually want that note there. I can undo this action with this left curvy arrow here. So if I tap that, it's undone. And I could cancel the undo with this right curvy arrow. This is redo. So then you see the notes back. So I'll just undo it for the moment. So so that's how you paste down notes. Okay, so I'll just briefly cover some of these other items you can edit. So if we like move to there, see that's allows you to place rests. And this basically works pretty much the same as notes, except you're placing rests, of course. So you select, as before, you select the tool you want to use with the rests, and then the type of rest you want to place. So I wanted to use that one, and I wanted to replace that note. You can see I've gotten rid of that note now. Okay, so for the moment let's undo that. Now the next thing you might want to do is maybe you want to change the instrument. Maybe you don't like this piano that's being used. So if you go to part properties, this is showing you that the properties of the current part in the song. A song can have many parts, but this example song's got just one. But if you wanted to add new parts, you could just do it here by tapping on this new part button, and you can delete parts. Okay, and for each part you can give it a name. So I might call it like piano or something. And the number of staves, so you can have, like often when you create music for piano, you'll have a treble clef and a bass clef. So in that case, you might want to set this number of staves to 2, but for the moment I'll just leave it as 1. Then here we've got the instrument. If you look down the bottom, you'll see a file. This is the actual instrument that's being used. What this is telling you is this instrument is located in this file, and this is its name. Now, instruments in Musicmatron are loaded from musical instrument font files, which can be like MIDI font files with the .sf2 extension, or else the program's own built-in instruments. So if you want to change the instrument, you just go select, and then you can, if you wanted to import another font file, you choose import here, and you could choose search your file system for a .sf2 file to use, but for the moment I won't do that. What I'll do is I'll use the built-in font, this built-in .im font, which is the default font used by the program. So then, okay, I'll use the organs, and then you can preview the instrument just over here. So you can change the octave if you want to. So I'll just accept that with a tick. Okay, and then tick here. Okay, now when I played that song, you should hear an organ. So there you go. That's basic song composition. Okay, so now I'll just cover some other elements of Musicmatron. So I've told you about this top bar and this toolbar and this sort of elements bar that lets you select the type of thing you're pasting down on your song. And I've told you about things down here, the zoom in and zoom out, the slider to move along the song, and this thing here that lets you select the view mode. But if you look on this right panel, there's this undo and redo. I told you about that. Play, and okay, this play button within 2 lines, that means play from measure. So with that one, you basically tap it, and then it will tell you to select the measure you want to start the playback from. So then you just tap on one of these measures and you can start playback from there. Okay, and then moving along. Okay, this brings up a panel allowing you to mute and unmute parts, just like that, and hide and show parts. So that the hide and show part thing would be useful when you're looking at the song in scroll mode, because when you look at the song in scroll mode, all the parts are shown together, and you just pan up and down to look at the different parts. But if you're in actual page mode, then you're only looking at one part at a time. So you can do hide and show there, but will only show one part ever. Okay, and then this other one, this allows you to stretch measures to fit the actual song. Well, it allows you to make the measures fit on the page of the song. And then this one here lets you hide excess rests. So normally the song will show all the rests for all the voices in the song. So each sequence of notes in a song is counted as a voice. So this can mean that, so if you have like chords and things, you'll have lots of voices, like you can see in this example song I've made. You see I've got 3 notes here, so that means on this next measure I've got 3 rests. So you can reduce the number of rests shown by just tapping there, and then it will, if it finds two or more rests that are the same, it will remove them. So you just got 1. So this is sort of more useful for a musician when they're trying to read the song, and also when you print the song out as a PDF file or export it as a PDF file, it will automatically have this option enabled. And then moving along, okay, this is triplets. This allows you to place notes as triplets. So to just demonstrate this, I'll just, in this second measure, I'll create a scale with triplets. So I turn on triplets, I've selected notes, I've add notes, selected that type of note. So now I'll just place down a note. Oh, that was the wrong place. Oh, hold on. Oh, let's go back. Okay, let's turn on the triplets again. Here we go. Okay, so you can see it's put a 3 above those notes, telling you that they're triplets. So now I'll just demonstrate this special play from measure playback thing. So select that. Yeah, you see it just played back that from that second measure. So okay, and then moving along, this dot, this allows you to, this also adjusts the length of notes. With that turned on, the length of all notes is increased by 50%, and you'll see a sort of period placed after the note. So that's what that's about. And then, okay, I'll just go through some of the options on the menu. So language, choose what language you want. So only English and French at the moment, so I'll just keep it in English. Then new song, I've covered that. Load song, save song, import. This allows you to import songs from music XML files and also MIDI files. So say I could import that one, say. And whenever you import a file, you get this panel asking you how you want to view the song. So I'll just use it as view mode, keep it as view mode. So there you go. So I've just imported a song. And then let's go look at some other options. Export, this allows you to export the song. So you can export it as either a MIDI file, a PDF file, which is just basically as a document, so you can print it off to use as music to be read by a musician, a sound file, a .wav file, or as Musicmatron's own .tune format. Okay, so that's the exporting. And then song properties, this lets you adjust basic properties of the song you can currently see. So you can change the name, the author, the start beats per minute, the intro beats, number of measures, and the part naming method. You can either let the app decide, and if you let the app decide, what it will do is, if you've given the part a name, it will use that, but if the name's blank, then it will use the instrument name. But you can override this behavior by selecting instrument name, which that just forces it to always be the instrument name, or username, which forces it to be the part name. So I'll just keep it as that. Okay. So there you go, song properties, part properties. Yeah, I sort of basically covered this. So yeah, this is where you add parts, remove parts, change their names and change their instruments. So I'll just close that and then help. This allows you to see some PDF documents explaining various aspects of the program. So there's this quick start. Let's actually see a sort of quick start guide reference, which is just telling you about all the elements of the program. Instruments, yeah, well, I won't go into detail on everything, but you get the idea. And then options. So there's the general options of the program, first of all. So you can change the UI scale. So at the moment it's 160. So if you make this number 200. It's made it everything a bit bigger. Make it 400. It's even bigger. Or you can go back to factory default by pressing that, and then there's a line scale. This is the size of the lines on the stave, so you can just adjust that number to your liking, and this option lets you skip the little animation at the start of the program. So I'll just close all this down. So then let's have a look at some other options. So there's the colors. You can change the color theme of the program. So there's color themes for the user interface and actually for the music itself. So there's dark, which is like the default factory default setting, and there's green screen. There's a sort of light setting. There's also a user setting. With that, you can actually change the colors to how you want. If you click on edit, you see all the colors available. You can select one and you can change it. Okay. So yeah, also there's themes for the song itself, so you can have dark, green, light, or you can choose your own theme. So normally if you're going to print it out, you want to use the light theme. Okay, so I'll close that down. So I think there's one option left. Oh, MIDI. This is for whenever you import a MIDI file, you need to tell the program what instrument to use for each part in the MIDI file. So you do that here. So in MIDI files, the instruments are put into classes, so that see the classes are all listed down the left here. So what you do is you take a class and then you just tell it what font, file and instrument to use for that class. So if you wanted to change, say, the piano, you tap there and you're taken to the instrument panel. So then you can choose a different instrument, or you can import a font file. So I'll just cancel that for the moment. And you can always return to factory default with this factory button here. So I'll just cancel that for the moment. Okay, so yeah, that's it basically.